Hi, everyone. It's Sunday, about 3:36. Ooh, spirit numbers. So anyway, hi, it's Arthur here at Arthur Ease Your Mind on Sunday. Thank you for joining us on our live Sunday show. Or as somebody wrote in the comment, or is it? Happy Ease Your Mind Sunday, all. Thank you, Anna Rodriguez. Thank you. I hope everyone's doing great and wonderful. We finally hit in the 90s here in Los Angeles. I am running my air conditioner for the first time, really, this year. So thank you for the subscribers. Thank you for the moderators. Thank you for the members. Also, thank you, Sherry and Walter in the background, helping us with the questions. As you know, I can't read, walk, talk, and chew gum and whatever I do at the same time. So, I never make a good spy. So anyway, just before we start, real quick, it's banner time. First of all, look, it takes me a while to type these things out, so I have to run them somehow. Okay. It's political questions, world event questions, please in caps. Also, if you have like 10 questions, one question, then you can wait and put another one up. But when you put like 10 in a row, it'll get skipped over. Just let you know. It's not that we don't like you. It's just that we want everyone to have a chance to ask questions, constructive questions. Also, as many of you know, Val and I do a Saturday event, and that's wrong. And October sold out. Yes, last time I posted this, I had 2 seats left. Now we have November coming up. It's open. We have seats available. I forgot them. I just changed the date. I didn't change the whole thing. Like I said, I type these things out. Let's see here. Also, if you're looking for me for a reading and the police aren't chasing me down the street, you can get me at arthureaseyourmind.com. I actually saw Ice the other day driving around in Los Angeles. It was kind of scary. I didn't give him the finger. I just said, read between the lines. They didn't hear me. Okay. Also, one of our new rules, no comparisons to other psychics. Please do not ask me to validate or refute what other psychics have said. Now, if I say, oh my God, did you watch Linda? Did you hear what she said? That's a whole nother story. But for me, I don't like comparing myself to others. And we've got lots of questions. A lot are on the same topics. But there's 2 topics I want to bring up real fast. Did anybody see Dean Cain? Oh my God. Super what? I mean, he's ice. He's fat. They had him trying out or doing his exercises for ice in Georgia, I think it was, climbing over the fence and climbing through a window and running. And it was sad. That's not the Dean Cain I remember in a Superman suit. No. But I hope they have Chris. Maybe Chris Rock will do it next. That would be fun. Anyway, so that. And also we had some questions on the post. And if I'm rambling today, forgive me. I didn't sleep well last night. A lot of craziness in the skies. Energy. It was just nuts. So anyway, Moon Whisperer asked a question, which is very interesting for all of us. She said, here's my burning question. Why do people keep saying that the Orange Menace has 8 months to live? I'm an RN and my job is to take care of people. So for me to say that I hope it's a lot less than 8 months is against my oath. But it's only because he's a madman and because he's swelling up like a balloon. He is the type of patient we would say would be circling the drain. He's more like dripping down the drain at this point, in lack of better terms. Anyway, why I'm bringing this up is a lot of people are going online saying the man's days are numbered. I myself said 2 years ago, you have to be alive to be a president. I will own that. However, it was a pithy little thing that I said. But there are a lot of doctors that have been going online saying because of his swelling, those tree trunks he has, his legs, it's more than just what they're saying. One doctor is actually going on record saying he's a cardiologist or something. He's saying this is heart. And then they showed a picture of his hand where it's like, can't a drag queen teach him how to blend his makeup, especially on his hand? It looked like he had plaster of Paris on his hand to cover up the purple, because the guy said he's getting intravenous and probably getting diuretics, and that's leading to kidney failure. So, of course, he's saying this as an observer, not as his physician. But if you also recall, during his first term, his doctor said he's the healthiest man in the world. And then he did an interview about something, mentioned he was on Viagra, and then they raided his office. And then 2 months later, he showed up dead. So I'm sure a lot of doctors don't want to say anything. So it's scary. But the thing is, I'm not wishing the man to keel over. No, I'm not. I just want him out of office. And I want to see him get his comeuppance for all that he's done, along with a lot of other people. And we have Stephen Miller to thank for ICE. And it's a good name because his veins are ice. He's not no blood. He's got no heart. It's just ice in there. So that's my opinion only. That's not coming from the guides, and this is entertainment purposes only. But I think we all feel the same way, at least if you're here. Now, another from Tina Sanford asks, "Oh, thank you, Susat. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate you guys as well. And English is my first language. I've not heard anything about Cassidy Hutchinson lately. What do you see for her? She's safe. That's all my guides say. She's safe." And I gotta read this one from Rhonda. "Hello, Arthur. Thank you for all you do. I really wish I could live in California." Really? I love Cali. The only question we have is when this nightmare will be over, and I know you can't say when. Love to you. Then why do you ask? But it's okay. We love you anyway. Now, the thing is, like I said on a couple other shows, being an intuitive psychic or whatever I do, it's you get images, you get feelings, and all that kind of stuff. But when people are insisting when, how, why, what, they can be a little dicey because there's a lot of free will. There are things I feel are etched in stone, but some of those things we are not meant to know. Because if we know too much, we will mess it up. And everyone's asking, well, when is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? Why is he happening? It's like, the guy that says, I hate my life 1,000 times. The universe is going to give him a life that he hates. All right? So we love our country. We just don't like the people running it. So we can do something about it. Manifest it. Also, in addition to manifesting, we do have power. It's called Congressional Switchboard at 202-224-3121. Call. Also, 5calls.org. I know you probably guys are sick of me saying about this stuff, but please, we are in a country where we do have our voices. We still have our voices. There are countries they can't vote. They can't call the representatives. We can. And so while we still can, use your voice. Also, I always talk about this app. Good. It's Goods. Unite Us with an S. It tells us what company donates to which party and percentages how much. and I've said this before, I was horrified that some of the stores I would go to are like 99.99% everything goes to Republicans. Yes, I'm a Democrat. This kind of progressive sided guy here. And also, keep your eyes on this Election Truth Alliance. They're doing a lot of good research. They're doing a lot of good stuff. And I've always said at the end of August and September, there's going to be lots of lawsuits. I still get that. There's lots of lawsuits coming up. And what else do we have here? So that's enough of me gabbing away. So as Linda would say, enough about me. What do you think about me? So let's go. Oh, happy Sunday. Hi, Teresa Spiggs. I love you guys. So again, thank you for being here. It's Sunday. You guys have other things to watch and other things to do. I'm glad you're here. Because you say I ease your mind. I lost mine a long time ago. So thank you for the super sticker, Sandy. So sweet. All right, let's go to some questions. And hopefully Arthur does not lose his mind. Miss Ali. Hi, Arthur. Happy Sunday. Will our communities fight back against Trump sending National Guard into blue states? Thank you. Actually, yeah. In fact, I think it was this morning, Mark Elias was talking about where his law firm had called all the governors that sent their National Guard to D.C., saying, yeah, we're on Trump's side. But they asked them, yeah, well, if a blue state sent their National Guard into your state, would you like it? No, crickets, tumbleweeds. Communities are fighting back. And call your representatives. But no, they do step down after a while. You know, it's more than Taco Tuesday. Okay. So yeah, communities are fighting back and they're going to continue to. And it's up to us to do it. All right. Thanks for the question. It's a really good one, Miss Ali. BKBS. Will there be a time when mega churches fall out of favor and go away? From your mouth to Allah's ears. Oops, God's ears. Just kidding. Eventually, I mean, I feel eventually in time, like the big mega churches that don't even open their doors to help people that are being flooded out of their cities until the news event says, hey, did you see this church is not opening the doors to the public that are in need, until it's on television. We know who we're talking about, right? Anyway, they'll get their taxes. They'll have to start paying taxes. But I do feel they are falling out of favor soon, because it's now this white Christian nationalists, aka the Fourth Reich, and it has nothing to do with the Christ I was taught about in Catholic school, even though we feared him because we had nuns. But at the same time, I feel these guys are going to be going away in time. In time. Don't forget, what, in the 70s, a bunch of them had, oh, we have to fly in private jets. God wants us to. Yeah. If you have more than one corporate jet, you got to pay taxes on that. Sorry. Thanks for the question, though. Hi, Matthew. Thanks, Arthur, for keeping everyone's spirits up. You're welcome. Elmer's glue doesn't work, so just use me to keep your spirits up. When will the Democratic Party wake up and show some fight? We need action from them, not talk. They are acting. Look what they did in Texas. God bless those guys. They've got. The other thing is, though, there's a lot of Democrats doing things you're not hearing about because the MAGAs won't put it on the air. That's where progressive channels here on YouTube, as well as Patreon and Substack and all that, they have a voice. So, the guys at what they're doing in Texas, God bless them all. But it's not just in Texas. And it's not just Bernie Sanders and AOC doing stuff. There are people going around. And I actually feel as we get more towards the end of, now, I say this is my guides are giving me this information. I feel as we get more towards October, more stuff is going to be coming out. And I've said at the end of September, I feel, there's some big shifts coming up. So we'll see what happens at that point. But eventually, these guys are talking. It's just that they're cutting them off. Just like when Trump starts rambling like a little idiot, they cut him off on Fox. So it's going to balance out eventually. When we do something about it. Okay? Thanks for the question. Hi, April. Hi, Arthur. Thank you. Will Kimar... Oh, I'm going to... I was a substitute teacher once and messed up everybody's name, so please bear with me. Will Kilmar Abrego Garcia be deported to another country? Will he be allowed to stay safe with his family in the USA? Well, right now, what apparently, came back to the States. There's these charges against him now about trafficking people and all this other stuff out of Tennessee, which is kind of weird because when he was stopped by the police, we're in the Trump administration back then. And now it seems like this is all vengeance and vendetta. So apparently what they're doing is they've told him, look, just sign this that you're guilty. And what we'll do is we will send you to Costa Rica with your family and be happy. But if you don't sign it, we're going to send you to Uganda. So he's got some good lawyers on the side. So I really feel in the long run, he's going to stay in the United States and he will be safe. Okay. Thanks for the question. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Arthur, Sherry, and Walter. Once we get rid of the Orange Menace, please, God, make it soon. We don't want to wish anyone ill. Sort of. How do we get rid of the shady Vans and Moses Mike? Any ideas? Thank you. Well, I've never, when Menace goes down, I never see Miss Maybelline taking over as vice president, becoming president. I don't see it. So it's like dominoes. One goes down, they all start falling down. And I've always said that Moses Mike, I don't know why it hasn't come out yet, but guys keep on showing me there's some scandals coming up about him. And he's not going to be able to say, oh, that's not true. Okay? So we'll get rid of them. Remember, we have the power. Manifest it. Thank you. I like your kitty cat, by the way. Hi, Ivy. Hello, Arthur. Is Orange Menace or anyone in the media talking about Putin striking American factories? Not really. In fact, even the president hasn't said anything. And what they're talking about is in Ukraine there are American factories owned by Americans, and they bombed them. And when I was looking into it the other night, I was scrying. What I kept on seeing was, remember there was that incident when they said that Levitt and everybody else walked away from Putin in Alaska when Trump was there, and there's something was said and they're all upset. I really feel he threatened them. And that's what this was. And he made good on his threat. So it's going to come out. It's going to come out sooner than we think. But thanks for the question. It's a good one. Hi, Sage and Sedona. Hi, Arthur. What can you tell us about this Venezuelan issue, invasion threat, whatever this is supposed to be? Tell us the story as you see it. Well, once upon a time, no, just kidding. It's just Trump is threatening. It's saber rattling. It's just theater of the absurd. It's weapons of mass distraction. I mean, we have to listen to it, but just let it go. Just okay. That's what he said. I do not see him starting a war with Venezuela. Okay. And people are asking, is he going to start a war before so that we don't have a midterm? Well, I'm sure he's thought about it, but it's not going to happen. So I'm seeing it. Okay. But thanks for the question. Hi, Arthur. Hi, Angelina. Do you think Don Jr.'s ex, Kim, knows any secrets that can cause trouble for 45? Love your show. Thank you. Not necessarily. I feel there's inside stuff people know, but I don't think she knows anything that's going to damage him. I mean, I think Stormy Daniels did more damage talking about his, can of, I guess what, human mushroom soup. But anyway, I'm gonna. Okay, but thanks for asking. Because also, if she were to say something, she may fall out of the window. So, but I don't think she's going to, because she doesn't know enough. All right, but thank you. I like Snoopy. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Arthur. Since DT is so sickly looking, are the golf videos current or from a long time ago? I just he hasn't been seen on the golf course lately, so he's probably too busy putting spackle on his hand. But I guess if there's anything being shown, I feel there's a loops because I do not see him on the golf course right now. Okay, that's where he loves to run to and cheat, but it's another story. But there you go. Hi, Katie. Will Kamala's book tour be a success and will help bring America together? This was her hope. Thank you for your guiding light. Wasn't that canceled? Sorry. Soap operas. I feel her book tour will be successful. And I feel there'll be some hecklers. There'll be some quasi-fake demonstrations. And all she has to do is say, like with just one look, as the song in Sunset Boulevard goes, and they're annihilated. Okay. Hi, Sharon. Arthur, how will the Netanyahu regime end in Israel? And if the guides know about when? The killing needs to stop. I agree, the killing needs to stop. That question of when it happens. It's not much. I don't see this going on for much longer. Also, Netanyahu, I feel I've always felt him stepping down or being taken down and going to court. So if you push me, I will say I feel by December. If I'm wrong, don't remind me. I'll remember myself. Okay? Hi, Arthur. Will the next jobs report lie and overestimate the job numbers? Will any insiders tell the truth about the real numbers? Yes and yes. Of course, the numbers. Look, he fired the guy. He fired the woman that gave him the numbers to begin with. So he'll put his own person in, get the numbers he likes. It's like, if you ever saw the interviews with Michael Cohen, where he said he's like a mob boss. He wouldn't go out and say, "No, I want you to say this, this, and this, and this, that I make this kind of money." No, he would say $5 billion. I'm worth $8 billion. Didn't you know that? Make sure, double check that, Michael. It was his way of saying, put it out there in the press, he's worth 8 million or 8 billion, whatever it is. So the same thing with the job numbers is going to happen. But I do feel insiders will tell the truth eventually. Maybe not right when the numbers come out, but it's all these things are piling up. Okay? And it's all going to work against him. So thanks for the question. Recall. Hello, everyone. Trump and Melania are to visit the UK between September 17th and 19th. Do you see if this will be canceled due to poor health, be it King Charles or Orange cancels himself? I don't see it being canceled. I don't see it being canceled. I know they don't want him there. I mean, considering the nice warm reception they gave J.D. Vance, they're civilized. But they don't want him there. But I don't see it being canceled. Okay? Hi, Stargazer. Texas Rep. Ann Johnson, Democrat, clap back at the Texas GOP for redistricting maps based on race. Will this be the start of Texas women opposing Abbott and Paxton's election rigging? Yes. Yes. She's quite a voice. I mean, there's some wonderful women out of Texas. I mean, look at Jasmine Crockett and others. But remember, somebody asked earlier about if the Democrats are going to strike back. They are. They are. Great question. So thank you. And again, happy Ease Your Mind Sunday, all. Thanks, Anna. That put a smile on my face. Fran. Hi, Arthur. Will the United States experience a complete economic collapse? Thank you. Remember I said about the guy that keeps on saying, I hate my life, I hate my life, I hate my life? And the universe gives him a life he hates? Don't go running around, everything's going to collapse. Because then I'll just say, it's only an acorn chicken that'll sit down. Okay? I don't see a complete economic collapse. I mean, maybe for, not, maybe in pockets, like people in red states that spent all their life savings to buy those meme cards or whatever they're called, that just went down. Trump took his money out right away and everything went down like 80-90% last week. Yeah, they might have lost their money. For them, it's an economic collapse, but for the rest of the world, no. I hope that makes sense. Hi, Jenny. Will there be any charges filed against John Bolton as a result of the FBI searches of his home and office? Thank you. I feel they may come up with some files, but they're not going to charge him with anything. Just going to, it's like vendetta time. Oh, you talked about me? I'm going to show you. I'm going to make your life miserable. And then he has to pay to get a lawyer and all this stuff. Makes him spend money. But I'm not a fan of the man. Just to be honest. But he did come out with saying some pretty powerful stuff against Trump. And that's why he's being raided. Like I said, I feel he may find 1 or 2 files, but not enough to really, it's just enough to be a headache for him, but not put him away. Okay? But thanks for asking. Maddie, thank you so much. Guys are so good to me. Elizabeth Lopez, do you see hurricanes or earthquakes for Puerto Rico this year? Thanks. I'm not seeing earthquakes in Puerto Rico. I do see hurricanes, but I don't see them barreling down where Trump is then throwing paper towels at people. I feel they're not going to escape hurricanes, but I do feel that there will be some flooding, but I'm not getting major loss of lives or damage, just flooding. Well, flooding can cause damage, but I'm not seeing it like the last hurricanes. Okay? I don't see the power grid going down. Maybe for an hour or two, but that's about it. Okay? Hi, Denise. Hello from Canada. Arthur, do you see Canadian forces being on ground in Ukraine? Thank you for all you do. I don't see other countries putting boots on the ground in Ukraine right now. I don't see it. And I was just reading about Kim Jong-un, who has had crocodile tears for the North Koreans that died for Russia. Yeah. It's a crazy world. But I do not see Canadians putting boots on the ground in Ukraine. Okay? Great question. Thank you. Hi, Sean. Thank you for your Sunday lives. Like I told you, I have no life. Do you see another variant of COVID or another new dangerous new virus this year or next? I see variations on the theme, but I don't see like COVID. We had COVID. I'm not seeing lots of loss of lives or pandemic showing up again. I'm not getting that. Okay. Of course, there's always new viruses. But I'm not seeing what we went through with COVID, even though we have the wonderful person in charge of our health administration. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. But no, we're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much. Hachi Bachi. Hi, Arthur. Elizabeth Warren is taking a look at the company Cantor Fitzgerald. Do you see anything in coming years for them? Cantor Fitzgerald is Howard Lutnick's company. What I just heard from the guides, as clear as a bell, was where there's smoke, there's fire. And we know Elizabeth Warren can be a firehouse when she gets started. So yeah, there's something. End of February, some stuff is going to come out about that. That's all. Hi, Arthur. Do you think Dump administration will start resigning in mass to try to avoid more humiliation and prosecution? That kind of reminds me when I lived in New York City, when at night I'd go into my kitchen, turn on the light, and all the cockroaches would run under everywhere. These are cockroaches. But I don't see them. Actually, I see more than resigning in mass, being thrown under the bus in mass. With the first one probably being Marco Rubio, followed by Hexa. That's how I see it. They voted for the big, wonderful bill. If that wasn't humiliation enough, what else is? So they're going to be. There's a list, believe me, and people are checking it twice. And we're not talking about Pam Bondi. So, in time. Let's see what else is here. That was quick. Spirit's taking over. I'm not doing anything. Will there be a trilateral meeting, and where will it be? I'm not getting an answer on that. As to where it will be. Will there be one? Yes. I feel it'll be more electronic, like Zoom, or it won't be on Signal, but in SCIFs. I'm not sure when, but there will be. Okay? Hope that answers your question. Hi, Arthur. What will happen with the gerrymandering through all the states? Will more blue states get more congressional seats? As they say in the movie Wells Fargo, you betcha. Yeah, seriously. I mean, Gavin Newsom is not the only one. Districts are. I know that New York, she's doing stuff, but the way the Constitution is, they have to wait for, and they're trying to change it though. So yeah, the Republicans don't realize that they lit a fuse, and Gavin Newsom is going to snuff them out. At least he's starting. The rest will follow. But thank you, Sheila. Great question. How does that? I am shocked that all of the sudden MAGA cares about assaulting women and girls, Epstein. They never did when Trump did it. Why the change of heart? Thanks. Well, because they were promised that there would be a list. They were promised that things were going to be released. They were promised that there were files that were going to be released as soon as they got in power. And now that they're in power, they're not releasing anything. It's more of that than really caring about the victims, unfortunately. It's just that they were hoping to get all these, like George Soros and Bill Clinton and all these Democrats. And then if they released the list, they would probably be like some dead Republicans. So, but now that's being released. That's why they're angry. Okay. That's what I get from my guides. But thanks for asking. Great question. Will Deb Haaland, Democrat, New Mexico, win the New Mexico governor race in 2026? I'm getting a yes on that at this moment. It's going to be tight. It's almost like she has an uphill battle with her. Like the weight of the world's on her shoulders. But, that expression, speak truth to power, that's what she's going to do. It's not going to be easy. They're going to do a smear campaign against her. But I do feel the more mud they throw, the more people see that it's mud. Okay? So, let's see. Hi, Mary. Hi, Arthur. You see the stock market plummeting in 2025 or 2026? There is talk that we are due for a crash. I don't know about a crash, maybe a reset, but I'm not seeing a repeat of 2008, or let alone the Great Depression. I get a reset. Then again, in all honesty, when it comes to stocks, I'm not that great with them. I mean, I have told clients things, and they said, "Oh my God, you saved me money." Like this one guy said, I was at an event, and he said, "Oh my God, he saved $1 million off." He told me about all these stocks. He was just asking me stuff. I didn't know what I was saying. It just came out of my mouth. And afterwards, I said, "Oh, so I saved $1 million. Where's my car? Where's my candy? Where's my thank you note? Oh, and by the way, you never paid for that reading." So he recently said, "Well, I gave you PR." I said, "Thank you. You can pay for the reading now?" And he wrote me a check. And I think it was like $100 at the time. Never heard from him again. I guess that's why they have money. Epstein victim Virginia wrote a memoir before her death. Coming out. Will taco mushroom, I like that one, be mentioned? Collab Stormy story. Yes. I just got yes. Don't ask me for details. I guess we'll wait for the cliff notes to come out. But I do get a yes on it. I feel some damaging information coming in that. And I feel they're going to try and hold it from being published. But the truth always comes out eventually. Thanks, Helen. Tarot ask back, I won't say the other word, but tarot ask backwards. Thank you so much. You got great blue eyes. Hello, Arthur. In China going to strike in Pacific Sea? Dui. No, in Mandarin. No. And I can order from column A and B at a Chinese restaurant too in Mandarin. Isn't that scary? Will ICE have to remove their masks and have a warrant to arrest people soon? I actually feel in time. That's coming up. I feel. Remember talking about all those lawsuits that are I see coming up? This is the start of it. ICE is going to be a part of it. I don't care what they say. It's against the law what they're doing. And they're going to prove it. And they're going to fight the judges. But you know what? These guys are going to get in trouble. Because also, even after, let's say, this Fourth Reich is gone, there's still a money trail. These people got paid. And their social security numbers and all the other stuff. So we'll be able to find out who it was, who they are. So unless it's being paid in cash, which I doubt. Okay. Great question, though. How is George Santos doing in prison? I hear his dance card is really filled up now. He's directing Prisoners in Love, a big musical. He's making sure he's doing all the makeup, and poor Georgie, poor G. He's crying, but I'm sure he's a big. Let's hope his cellmate. His name is Big Beautiful Bill. Try that one out for size. Doug Burgum hasn't been talked about much. Will he stay with 47 until the end? I wouldn't be caught waiting at a bus stop, is how I'll read that one. He might, like I said, these people are going to see the undercarriage of buses soon. So it's all going to be shoved under the bus. And like I said, I always get movie posters, and I just saw the movie Bus Stop. So take from there. Will Clarence Thomas' wife, Ginny, get caught for her roles in January 6th? Sorry. I'm sure she does have roles. In time. I've always seen that in time. She can't escape it. I remember there was an interview once, and she was being interviewed, and the interviewer said, "Do you realize what you just said is so nasty?" And she goes, "I know, that's why I said it." Such a lovely person. Put that one up again. George Santos, where is that? Is putting on 7 bridegrooms for 7 brothers. I love it. And hopefully, oh God, I forgot who wrote the music for that, but it was Alexander Courage that actually did orchestrations for Seven Brothers. The guy that wrote the theme song for Star Trek. That was a good one. Thank you. I needed that laugh, and I hope everybody here got a laugh out of that too. That was the best. Amy Acton, Democrat, is running against Swami. What's his name? Republican. I don't see him winning. It's people. I was doing a show with Mel, and he said, well, they'll say the MAGAs will like him because then they can say, see, we're not prejudiced. And I just said, no, they just didn't realize how brown he was until he stepped up his wallet. So I don't see him winning. I really, really don't. So, yay, Amy. Hi, Arthur. What will be Goulang? Thank you, because I can never say your name. Maxwell's outcome. Now, I mean, wouldn't it be appropriate to have Goulang go to a gulag? Just saying. I know people are saying she's probably going to be pardoned, all this kind of stuff. I guess if somebody passes gas enough and say, pardon me, they will. I don't know. But I don't see her getting away with what she seems to think she's going to. There's stuff, even though those tapes were released, and she talks so favorably about the president, and how nice he was to her. I feel that is going to explode in their faces faster than a cheap cigar in the Three Stooges movie. Okay. Hi, Arthur. Thank you for your Sunday show. You're welcome. And there's 1292 in the room. What do you see for the future relationship between Mexico and Canada and the U.S.? It was kind of like this. Mexico's the first floor. Then there's the crack house. And then there's Canada. Eventually, I feel in time, when a new regime comes in, a new administration, things can start being mended. But in the meantime, I feel Mexico and Canada are just like, he said what? He did what? We'll show him. Turn off the lights. I do feel eventually things will mend. It's going to take time, but I feel it does happen. Tell me that Dumpster loses his tariffs lawsuit. Yes. I feel like a bobblehead. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Barbie. Hi, Arthur. What do the extraterrestrials think about Trump? They threw him off the mothership already. They don't want him back. Please. Next question. I did see a joke though. It was Roswell. It was a crash, and they're trying to get the aliens, and this little baby Trump running around. You let him get away. Anyway, thank you, Jill. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, they kicked him off the mothership. In Ohio, will Amy Acton, Democrat, beat Swami, what's his name, for governor? Swami, how I hate you, my. Never mind. Like I said, I don't see him winning. Okay. Question. Things are quiet about Maxwell. I'm not saying her name. Do you think they are quietly drawing up the pardon behind the scene? They're doing something, but I don't see actually going to work. I know others saying that he's going to pardon Diddy. He's going to pardon. No, I'm bringing that up. That he's going to pardon her. I always feel maybe something at the last minute, then he gets pulled. But then again, as Jimmy Carter said, he's an illegitimate president, so anyone he's going to pardon, it's illegitimate. And that's the truth. Sherry, hi, Arthur. Love seeing you. Will Trump get a Nobel Peace Prize? From the bottom of the Cracker Jack box. Yes. Or it'll be chocolate. He'll have to unwrap it and it'll be chocolate. He'll eat it. He's not getting the real one, though. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is up for re-election in 2026. Will he win the election? Oh, I was going to say something that would get me thrown off of YouTube. I don't get it. And if he does, short-lived. Short-lived. Scandal. Okay. Hi, Tammy. Arthur, thank you for sharing your gift and for the laughter. You're welcome. I'm the village idiot. It really helps to keep the collective vibration high. Gummies work too, No, I do love you people. Thank you so much. How does Swami, how I love you, how I hate you, really feel about Elon Musk behind the scenes. I'm just hearing the song I Don't Like Spiders and Snakes. Okay, that's how I'm going to answer that. They're like water and oil. In the future, will the UT put restrictions on what presidents can pardon? I feel there's going to be restrictions on a lot of things coming up when the new administration takes over. Yeah. Especially if your cabinet members, you're pardoning their husbands for tax evasion and things like that. Well, Janine's not part of the cabinet, but you know what I'm talking about. Pete Hegseth's drinking buddy. Will come on become president. I've been asked this many times, and I get, like, if it's an odd or even day, I get different answers. But there's something I did get once, well, more than once. I saw her not being president. I didn't see her as Secretary of State. I saw her being on the Supreme Court. Either that or my liver just backed up from the 70s, but that's what I get. So we'll see what happens. Lawn Order 56. Oh, I love that. Oh my God, when I was a kid, I used to mow lawns. That would have been the best name for a company. Hi, Arthur. Did the felon know ahead of time that Putin was going to blow up the U.S. factories in Ukraine? I said earlier, I felt he threatened it. And that's why they scrambled a little bit, and they thought it was just saying, but I feel he did know. I feel he was warned. I could be wrong, but that's what I get. J.D. Vance is being investigated for inappropriate finance issues. Will he be indicted? I mean, Maybelline's not a tax write-off. It is appearance. I mean, if you're an actor, you get to take appearances off your taxes. I always feel there's something that comes up about him where I never see him becoming president. Okay. There will be something happening. And Touch Therapy. I love that name. And thank you for the super sticker, Touch Therapy for Kids. Nice. Hi, Arthur. I live in Ohio. Mio Mayo. Are we ever going to get a Dem governor? Yes. I don't think you're going to get Swami. Okay. Thank you, Sandra. Will Dabi Democrat win the New York mayoral race, or will Cuomo be independent who wins? It's close. It's close. I'm not getting a clear answer. I know a Republican is not going to win. Possibly Cuomo, but it's razor thin right now. Ask me in a couple of months. Ask me in a month or two. Right now, it's all kind of cloudy. But thanks for asking. Hi, Raymond. Will Gavin Newsom be the Democrats' choice in 2028? You gotta love what the guy's doing with the memes. And you gotta love the fact that the Republicans don't even realize that he's making fun of them. I mean, my God. Yeah, they drank the Kool-Aid. We drank the V8. I do see him as being a candidate. A run, possible presidential candidate. Yes. Roger Stone has been a no-show so far this year. Is he keeping a low profile? What is the likely outcome for his part in 45 shenanigans? I'm just hearing it right now. What they just heard was they are still in communication. He's doing things behind the scenes. He's an instigator, not an influencer, an instigator. And you do know he has a big tattoo of Wretched Nickel on his back. Anyway, I see him servicing, and then I always felt there's still future jail time for him. Will Brown win in Ohio? What position? What race? I don't know. Sorry. 45 has not been seen golfing. Is he checking out? What's your definition of checking out? It's kind of hard to be on a golf course when you're getting an IV in your hand. Oh, could you see that right now? Him on the golf course, with an IV. Not him. He'd have somebody else pulling it while somebody else is throwing the ball in front of him so he could win. What a cheat. Alfred is playing golf right now. No, he's too busy getting IVs. Entertainment purposes only. Will any of the corrupt Supreme Court justices ever be impeached? Thanks. I've always felt, number one, I'm going on record with this one. I don't see that Orange Menace is going to be able to appoint any Supreme Court justices. Number one. Number two, when there's a new administration, Democrat administration, I feel some will be stepping down. It's like either you resign or it's the gallows. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I feel that's going to happen. And then, as I've always predicted, I feel within 5 to 7 years, we have not 9 Supreme Court justices, but 13. Why? Because the reason why we have 9 is because when they voted for it, we only had 9 courts. Now we have 13. So that's what I see. Okay. How is Joe Biden's health? He's doing good. I just talked to him the other day. Actually, no, he it really bugs me when I actually, don't ask me why, but I actually heard Alex Jones talking about Biden and his cognitive brain decline, that he had brain surgery that nobody knows about. Thank you very much, Alex Jones. But then he was talking about how, we're in a crisis with Trump's health. But I feel Biden's a lot better than Trump. A lot better than Trump. But thanks for asking. Dear Arthur, what will happen in Chicago when National Guard shows up? Tacos for everyone? It's not really pretty. I mean, people are going to stay on the street. But it's going to be like in Los Angeles. Eventually they go away. So that's what I'm getting here. How are the prosecutions going to work? Is Jack Smith doing them, or are all these people going to International Criminal Court? Well, right now, things are going to come back into the courts here in the States. Netanyahu, that might be another story. Okay. I feel it's Jack Smith and his people right now are on hold. I feel things are being worked on. There's that deep state, but I do feel things are being worked on. And I really feel by the third quarter of 2026, a lot of people are going to be shocked and surprised with what comes out. At least that's what I'm getting. But thanks for that question. I think we've got time for one more. Arthur, National Guard troops will begin carrying rifles tonight. What is the regime preparing for? Blessings to you. Are they carrying rifles, but were they with real bullets or with rubber bullets? I feel it's a lot to scare people, but I don't see this becoming Kent State. Okay, but thank you for asking. So, any more? Okay, I just got what I call the whale. When they go like this, no more questions. It's like the whale, bobbing up and down. These are what's the new TV series, Nautilus? Big whales. Lots of fun things. Listen, I know it's a little bit silly. There's 1475 here. Thank you so much for being here today. I can't tell you how much I enjoy Sundays. I really, really do. And you guys, throughout the weeks, I have been getting some wonderful letters from you guys, notes and comments and emails. The support, you guys are incredible. It's heartwarming. And I have allergies. Just kidding. No, seriously, you guys are wonderful. I really appreciate all of you. So just take care of yourself and take care of others, all that good stuff that we talk about. Call your representatives. Do all that stuff. And like I said, heck, if I have to type this stuff, I'm going to put it up on the screen. You need to get a hold of me? ArthurEaseYourMind.com. All right. I do have openings. I think there's a few more in September that are open. And then, in addition to supporting the channel, please check out my guided meditations on iTunes and Amazon. Just put in Arthur Ease Your Mind. There's 17, I believe it's 17 guided meditations that are available. Also, check out the playlist, Timeless Tools for Fast Results. The last one about feng shui in your car, I got a lot of comments on that one. It's really, people are saying, I got my dragon today. I'm like, what are they talking about? Oh, the dragon. Great. And I think it was, one of them hit like over 100,000 views. I think it was the one about salt in the shoes or smudging. So check those out. Okay? They're there for a reason, to help you guys. And we got to raise our vibrations. Why? So that we raise our vibration, we gain clarity, and become invisible to the Jerry Springer people. It makes life wonderful. All right. So thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I wish you a great, wonderful week. I'll be on tomorrow night with Allie and Marina doing a show, Let Spirit Drive, which I call LSD, or Let Lucy and the Sky with Diamonds. Tuesdays with Mel. And Friday, I'm with Carrie. So it's going to be fun. So, okay. So thank you again. Have fun. And just take care of yourselves. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.